Alright, I'm looking at my dashboard prototype for DSIN203RI for the lithium blood. I find it useful in this project to look at the pivot charts to be able to organize a whole bunch of data and to be able to make it analyzable in different charts. So normal pivot table charts, thermometer chart, a linear regression chart, interactive control chart with the checkbox, and the group Pareto chart. It's helpful in these to make sure you have a horizontal and vertical axis with titles to help identify what the chart is showing, as well as axes or data labels to show what each line, point, or bar represents in numbers. Also, it's helpful to have a title so we know what the main goal of this chart is, the main topic of it. It's also helpful to use visually appealing colors, visually appealing backgrounds to complement those colors. And you want to make sure that the colors are bright and standout colors, but not too bright, such as blues, reds, purple, pink, complementary colors that go well together. For instance, you want to like a very bright yellow line with gray because that would be not very visually appealing and hard to see to the eye. You also want your background to complement that. As you see with the backgrounds here, there's some light grays, black, blue, light red, stuff that works well with the colors that are with the actual charts themselves. The difficulty I found in this project was the differences between Excel in Mac and Excel in the PC dashboards. Well, not PC dashboards, but the PC Excel for Windows. There's a lot of compatibility issues between the two. For the first chart, I looked at the linear regression chart, which, as you see, the linear regression line was made a bit bigger, the bigger font on the line, to make it more visually appealing and easier to see to the people looking at the chart. Had to make sure you stretched out the horizontal axis, so just month and year, not just one, to make sure you could easily see what the titles were. Also important with the linear regression chart, or linear trend chart, is you have to make sure that you extend the period to show an actual trend and how much it's going to go over time. In my example, I chose it over a year. What is a linear trend going to be? And you have to make sure I move toward 12 periods since it was per month and year. So it's just 12 months of 1 year ahead of time. That is going to increase the consulting services sold. Also, I found it important to put the equation there because then you know how that line was come about. It's not mystery. You can easily put in anything into that equation and find out future years, which I find quite helpful. See, the markers are slightly different colors than the actual line as well, so it's easier to identify where they are for each year, 2010, 2011, 2012, and how they relate against the different months to the linear trend line. So you see from this chart that the consulting services sold are expected to increase over the next year. The next chart I'm going to look at is the group Pareto chart, which is used to show the relationships of a group. In this chart, I used to show if a few of the salespeople showed or sold the most amount of units, as in did one salesperson sell the majority of units sold for the company as opposed to it being more evenly distributed. Which we found with the chart, that even though it seems that Larson sold more units than the others, especially Jackson, who sold less, percentage-wise from the Pareto chart, you see that they all sold about the same percentage-wise of units sold, which means not one person sold the majority of products. It was really seen as a team effort. It's important when making this chart that the line for the